Hello everyone, welcome back to video algorithm working and gaming module 6 about array. First, my name is Aliza Nafitemi Zahra by Alison Cord that will first explain to introduction to the array. So on this video, there are 7 learning points, that is, first, practical purpose, definition of array, practice 1, type of array, practice 2, array of string, and practice 3. And as for practical purpose, we have 4 points, which is 1. To understand the use of array, 2. To understand what the meaning of a string, 3. Be able to understand the use of 1, 2, and multidimensional array, and 4. To understand the use of array of string. Okay, now we going to introduction for what is array. So array is structured data type that can store a lot of data with the same name and occupe a place in memory in sequence and has the same data type. Simple speak, the array is database of data of the same type. In the context, kind refer to data types use such integer, float, character, and other data types. Next, practice 1. Please open Visual Studio Code and I will explain how to make an array. Okay, how do I build array? Array contains 3 points that must be noticed their data type, variable name, and number elements. Okay, data types can be filled with any type of data. For example, integer, float, character, string, and other data types. And for variable name to be assigned to the variable, the name assigned is used to refer to value stored within. And for number elements, the number elements size of length of the data structure to be created. Usually, this is a reference to assign array size or n number of elements in the array. Number of these elements will determine how much the value of the data types can be stored in the variable. I have example for data type. First, I build array with the integer data type. Okay, this integer, and I will name the variable this a number, and I will pass the 3 elements. Okay, and this 1, 2, and 3. And then I will build array with the float data type. Okay, this a float. For the variable name, this decimal, and for number element, a 2. Okay, this. Lastly, I will build array of character data type. The variable name is alphabet. For number element, a 4. This A, B, C, and D. I've managed to generate a 3 sample array with different data type, integer, float, and character. And furthermore, is the array include what it called is index array. Index array is used to identify the position of each element in the array. Index begins at 0 for the first element. Okay, this 0 for first element, then continue with 1 for the second element. Okay, this second element, this one. Okay, and so on. So the index allows use the usually access and manipulate the value in the array according to need. And look at the picture. The image has a simple array with element 7 number. Okay, this 7 number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And index array this 6. Okay, index array this 6 number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And though it can be seen that the number 3, okay, 3 this, the first box in the first index word is 0. And the next up number 8, the second box, this word on, okay, this one.
Hello everyone, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Vicentius Artianta with the assistant code TNT. So now I will give you some explanations about types of array from one dimension, two dimension, and multi-dimension. For the first one, an array with a single dimension is the most used data type. For example, it is helpful to list a number of people by their age, so the requirements that must be included in determining the elements are age. Two-dimension, as its name suggests, a two-dimensional array uses two elements, so you can incorporate two elements. In example, we can use a square that has length and width. So that's the two-dimension. And next, multi-dimension, arrays with many dimensions or more than two. For example, a three-dimensional array. An example that you can use is the coordinates of a room, which has x, y, and z. Okay, for the next step is practice. So now we go to Visual Studio Code. Okay, for the start, we can use a simple code from me. This is one dimensional array, which just has one element called x. So we can run the code. The summary is first number 90, 85, 70, 95, and 80. So the number flowing like this, coming from the first array, which come from 0. 0 is the first array, and going next like this, and blah blah blah, like that. So it's flowing just like that from the first array until the last array. Okay, we head to the two-dimensional array. In here we have two elements. This is the x, this is the y. So we can run the code. Okay, they have row and column, which is row 2 and column 1 is 4. This is the number, and row 3 column 3 is 9. This is the number. Just like before, we count from 0, which is the first array, until the 2 is the last array, and we can sum up with the x here and the y here, so we can use the x in here to call it, and the y in here, count from x and y. So that's how it works. Okay, headed to the multidimensional array. Now we have row, column, and the matrix count. So we have x here, y, and z, to representing that we have more than 2 elements here. So it called multidimensional array. 2, this is 2 row, and this 2 again, 2 column, and 3 is the count of matrix. Okay, we can run the code. Okay, element at row 1 column 2 in the second matrix is 5. This is what they meant. And element at row 2 column 3, the third matrix, is this. So we have clear explanation here that this is just come from, like before, the first array is 0 and the last array is 2, which is the third if you have third. And here is the count of matrix 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the third matrix in here. Okay, that's maybe a bit explanation about types of array. Hope you understand it a little bit, and happy coding. See you next time.
Good morning, good evening, and good night, folks. My name is Sam with assistant code of OIL. It's oil. Okay, I'm going to show you how RF thing work and where should we apply it, and the example of how array of string work. Okay, so array of string is a 2-dimensional array of character. So you have to remember that a string, similar to an array, normally the size array is fixed, whereas string can have a number of variable elements, and array contains any type of data, whereas a string of ASCII characters and ends with null characters. So, for example, if you have, what's the difference between regular array and array of string? So I'm going to show you. Right, for example, on the regular array, you can only put, for example, like integer, float, or characters. But in array of string, you can put the whole string inside of your array. So, for example, if you have a wardrobe, you only put clothes. That's the regular array. But if you have a wardrobe where you put shoes, clothes, and more, that's array of string. Simply, if you put everything inside of string and you put the string inside of array. Yeah, it's a little bit confusing, but you will get it if you see and learn more about array. Alright. So let's get a move on to the example of the code and how should it work. Okay, one moment. Going to get the code here. Okay, so we have a short code here where we use the RF string. For example, look at this. char name this is the array, a two-dimensional array of string. It's called array of string. So this is the declaration of the string we mentioned before. I mean the array we mentioned before. How should it work? I mean, how array of string work? Watch this. We declare it first, and then once we are trying to make an input of the array of string, we call it like a regular string, but including array inside of it. So this is the operation. I'm going to put string reverse here because this code will reverse string you insert in your array. So if you have a string inside of your array, it will going to reverse it. Like after we reverse it, we're going to make an output here with %s, means we are going to projecting a string in, at the end of the code. So here's the result. If, for example, if you have a word like word sleep, it's going to result pills because we reverse it. Okay, so this is the example of the use of array, so you will understand. And if you want to make a string operation, but you want to put a lot of string inside of array, that's how you use it. That's the use of array. Alright, so let's get a move on, and it's the end. Alright, thank you so much. I'm sorry if I made a mistake or with language, or I hope it's understandable, and thank you for watching, and see you later.